Larson Show. The big unit is ready to go. The Greg Larson Show. Muck around on the Mazapan. A fresh custard in his hand. The greatest podcast in all the land. Greg Larson Show. Yeah.
Yeah. I got an asshole and a gooch and a balls and a pussy and a dick and a tits and a piss and a shit and a fuck, that's it. Eat the shit and drink that piss and fuck on my ass. Hey, I'm a cool guy. Do you wanna suck my balls? Do you wanna lick my titties and lick on my pussy? Hello, baby, I wanna go to a place where you go and fuck dogs. Fuck a dog. Thank you so much, everyone.
This is the Greg Larson Show. This is the Eat the Rich special. This is Eat the Rich special. We're gonna eat the rich, baby. We're gonna fucking kill him. We're gonna eat the rich. I'm getting into it. My name's Greg. Welcome to the show. Guess what? I'm fucking sick. I'm sick. I have a fever, a low-grade fever. My throat hurts. My nose is stuffed up. And I'm sick and tired of the capitalist machine. This is the Eat the Rich special. I'm going to fucking kill them. I'm going to kill them all. We're going to have a communism starting today. I don't even know if this episode's going to be good, but I'm actually so crazy pissed off. I have been fucked over in the last couple of months in a number of ways, and I'm sick of it. And this is not a boohoo poor me complaint, right? I've been fucked over, yeah, but everyone has. We've all been fucked over by bosses, by fucking landlords, by fucking real estate agent cunts. But I've been fucked over enough in the last couple of months that I'm sick and I'm just gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go fucking crazy. Hang on, I've got a sound effect. Hang on. I'm going to go psycho, and I'm not going to stop because I don't care anymore. No, this is true. Okay, so here's the things that have fucked me over and pissed me off in the last couple of months. Fucking landlords, fucking property developers, fucking real estate agents. Knock my fucking fence down, but I'm a renter. They knock my back fence down. I'm a renter. Suck shit. Suck a dog's turd. Suck a dog's dick. Get the red dick out and lick it because you rent. You don't have rights. Fuck you. Don't have a back fence now? Suck shit. Pay us the rent money, cunt. I had a dispute with my landlord, with my real estate agent, with a property developer who fucking built a house or who's building apartments next door to me, and they knocked my fence down. And I'm like, hey, do I have to still pay the full rent? Yeah, of course you do. You know, hey, what about the rotten floorboards in my house where you can't walk on a portion of the floor, otherwise you'll fall through? Can you fix that? Nah, but pay the rent, cunt. Pay the rent in full, cunt. What are you going to do about it, cunt? Call the cops? Fuck off. That's going to get old. That's going to get old. I've been fucked over by a landlord. I've been fucked over. I've never had a landlord that wasn't a piece of shit. I've never had a real estate agent that wasn't a piece of shit. Like the very first house I remember when I left, like I've never had a real estate agent that hasn't tried to hold back some of the bond. And then the second I even slightly dispute it, they go, oh yeah, don't worry about it. You can have the bond, right? Like the very first house I was in, they charged me a $300 cleaning fee, right? They charged a $300 cleaning fee because they said we didn't have the carpets cleaned. We did. And And I said, oh, can you just show us the receipt for the because they said they hired professional cleaners. I said, show us the receipt. And they went, oh, don't worry about it. You can have your bond back. So they're cunts. They're all cunts, right? I think, here's my opinion about property investors, about landlords, about real estate agents. I'm going on a bit of hyperbole here, obviously. I hate them. They're cunts. But, they're not, I'm not saying that they're as evil as the Nazis. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that they're Nazis, but I am saying that if the average Australian landlord or property mum and dad, home investor lived in Nazi Germany back in 1939, they would have invested their money in gas. They would have just been like, oh, look, I'm just a mum and dad investor. I'm not out here trying to fucking hurt anybody. The market is going where the market's going. I'm just, I'm living almost in a way paycheck to paycheck. And I'm just rolling the dice and investing in gas. I see that gas for some reason is going up. I don't want to know why. I just, I'm just an investor. I'm just a fucking fuck you. I can't. And here's the thing, right? I used to, I've done political comedy in the past. I've done my fair share of political comedy, and I didn't want to do it anymore. And I've started feeling nihilistic. I've started feeling like I don't care about anything. I don't believe in anything anymore because, frankly, you say something online. Like I remember once, making a joke about the religious discrimination bill online, and then everyone was getting mad at me because I was making fun of religion, even though the bill was, a right to be a bigot bill. Look it up. I can't be bothered going into it. But there was a religious discrimination bill that went through Parliament and it gave people the right to discriminate against gay people or transgender people. And I was like, yeah, fuck you, religious people. As a joke, there was a clever bit in there somewhere. And people were like, oh, religion's not the problem. Oh, sorry for bringing religion into the religious discrimination bill. Oh, sorry. And that's the thing, right? I'm going on about it, but like, you voice a political opinion and then you just get death threats, you get hate, you get fucking, I've had the amount of death threats from Nazis I've got. It's overwhelming, right? It's overwhelming. And I just sort of gave up. I couldn't be bothered anymore. I just didn't want to fucking do any political stuff. But here's the thing. I just been fucked over again. And we've all been fucked over. You've been fucked over by a boss. I've been fucked over by bosses. I've been fucked over by bosses that have stolen my wages, stolen my superannuation, that made me work in illegal conditions. And you've all had that as well. You've all had that as well. I recently just got a new manager, a comedian manager, like an agent, whatever you want to call it, agent, manager. Whatever we can call it is a fucking crook because this cunt fucking cut and run. He bankrupted the business, fucked me over, fucked over a lot of people way worse than me. And I just realized that I forgot, in the last couple of years, I've tried to be zen. I've tried to get my head out of politics and not fucking go crazy over this. And you forget the simple things, right? You forget the simple truth that rich cunts need to be eaten. This guy, this fucking manager cunt, he should be eaten. He should be cooked on like a slow, I guess a rotisserie, but you can also do it. You can do it. I've seen people do it where they just you get like a full goat and you'll get like an open fire and you just sort of prop it up on I guess giant skewers and it just kind of cooks next to it. Like you got to have it far enough away. And I think you eat it like piece by piece, you slice off a bit. It's like a kebab, right? A kebab when the outside is cooked and you slice that and those rotating sticks in your kebab shops or whatever. What I'm saying is we got to eat them, right? Look, I don't want to get up here and say that, I'm like, I need to be very careful about what I'm saying here, right? Because I don't want to get up here and say that we should be killing all the CEOs of the world. I'm not going to get up here and say that, we should, literally that we should, get the landlords and get the real estate agents and shoot them. I'm not saying that we should form some kind of, squad, and at like 2 a.m. you get like open top canvas truck, like trucks with like normally an open top, but you put canvas over them so they can't see inside, and you take people out of their homes at 2 a.m. You take them to a large amphitheater / like an aerodrome or something like that, where you've dug trenches 2 meters deep, 2 meters wide, and 10 meters long, and you line up the landlords and the real estate agents sort of next to each other, in kind of like an assembly line situation, and you tie them together 2 by 2, so that way you save bullets, right? So you shoot one, and then the other one falls into the trench with them. But they don't necessarily, they'll die later, obviously. But and then like you do that, you fill up a layer, cover that with lime. Next layer, come in, shoot every second one, drop them lime, and rinse and repeat until you get to the top, and then fill it in with earth, and then you find a new amphitheater for the next one for the CEOs and the fucking whatever. I'm not saying that we should do that, obviously. Like I'm not. That's awful. I'm not saying we should do that. I'm just saying, let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. There's no bad ideas in a brainstorm. You know what I mean? We're shooting the shit here. We're brainstorming. We're mucking around. This is a muck around.
Hey, that's a spicy meatball.
See, there's so many leeches in our society. This is the thing, right? This is the thing. I want to give you a sort of, I guess, a 101 explainer. Let's go back to the start, right? Why is capitalism bad? A lot of people out there, they think capitalism is making money, owning things. If you're against capitalism, how come you own a car? How come you own a house? I don't own a house, but, people do. Capitalism isn't being opposed to capitalism, isn't being opposed to the concept of making money or trading a good or a service or owning a thing. You can own a cup. You can own a bloody a dog's blanket. You can own a CD-ROM of a Sonic game from the short-lived Sega CD. You can own those things. Technology can exist. Like capitalism, an opposition to capitalism, right, is not about being against things and money and, trade and commerce. Opposition to capitalism is opposition to literally capital and the role capital plays in society. And when I say capital, I mean the leeches, right? This fella, he was a wild, crazy guy. He had some wild, crazy ideas. He had long hair and a bushy beard, and his name was Karl Marx, right? And he said that the capitalist classes, they are people who own the capital. They're not people who make things. They're not people who bake a loaf of bread. They're not people who make a chair. They're not people who own a house that they live in. They're people who own the means of production, who own the capital that then owns the worker, that then owns, the product. A capitalist is not someone who works for a living. A capitalist is someone who has a lot of money and gets other people to work for their living, right? A capitalist is the shareholder. A capitalist is the one who makes all the money. A capitalist is the one who sits back while you pay their way through the world. They are a leech. They are a leech on the titty, on the sweet titty of society. I feel like I should play a sound for that. I don't know if I have a sound. Oh, that's just a long song. But capitalism, like, let me break it down, right? We live in a world where people like me are chugging back milk and dairy 24/7. Oh my God, I love a cheese. I love a milk. I love a cream. I love a custard. I love my dairy. And you go anywhere. You go into any cafe, you can see people chugging on dairy. Why then are dairy farmers in Australia killing themselves? Why is it that childcare in this country is unaffordable for honest Australians, yet childcare workers aren't driving around in Lamborghinis? Why is it that we live in literally a golden age of entertainment, of television, of movies, where more people are consuming more media than ever before in human history, yet writers and actors and grips and lighting guys and people who work in the television and film industry have no work? Why is it? Hang on, this song's ending. I'll play. There's got to be another song. Yeah, here's another song. Why is it that, and this is the industry I know about, is the media, why do we keep getting told there's no money? There's no money when more people are watching Netflix and Binge and fucking Stan and all the rest of them than ever before? Why is it that we have millions of empty homes in this country? Maybe not millions, maybe it's hundreds of thousands. You know what? Why is it that we live where we do? Why aren't we all just sitting back and living at large when our country is just producing natural gas and oil? Why are we paying so much for fucking electricity when we have a surplus of gas and coal and all the rest of it that we've been churning out for years? Why are businesses going bankrupt when, bars, restaurants, whatever, when they're getting as many people through the doors as they can possibly get in? It's the same old story. The rich cunts who own the capital, the shareholders, the landlords, the dodgy fucking agents, the ticket masters, the middlemen, the fucking leeches of society are taking too big a piece of the pie, and they've been doing it for fucking years, and lately they've gotten out of control. They've always been doing it, right? But now it's fucking crazy. Now they're fucking taking more money than ever before. The gap between the richest and the poorest has increased. The gap between what the average worker earns versus what the average CEO earns has increased by thousands. We live in a world where the rich own you. They own you. They own everything you make. You work for a factory making a chair. How much do they sell the chair for? $200? How much of that $200 do you get, cunt? Nothing. You're fucking dirt to them. No matter how much you produce, you still get the same amount of money. But they make profit. They make record profits. Qantas, Woolworths, Coles, they all fucking profit off your fucking hard work. And it's time to start a fucking revolution. It's time to fucking... I'm trying to find a sound. I know I've got a sound here somewhere.
Oh, kinky.
No, that's not the right one. Revolution time.
Israel is committing genocide.
Israel is committing a genocide.
Israel is an apartheid state.
Prime check on boycott Israel. Prime check on boycott Israel.
So look, I want to give you, I don't know, I just feel like I want to run through some tips. I guess a capitalism survival guide, because we can't change the system, let's face it. We're stuck. We're all going to die with no superannuation. We're going to die from climate change or World War III. we just have to accept that, right? I am not an optimist. I'm a pessimist. I'm not going to do shit. I'm done. But you can resist, or when I say resist, you can fuck them in other ways, right? Like, for example, if you're renting, and you're probably a renter, let's face it, you're listening to my podcast, you're probably a renter, like me. Here's the thing, right? If you're renting, you know, I'm concerned here about what I should say and what I shouldn't say. Regardless, to say this, I'm a comedian, and this is all a little joke. This is a comedy joke. This is this is a bloody muck around, you know. It is. I'm not saying anything serious. I'm all just joking around. But you know, you apply for a rental property, right? You apply for a rental property with a real estate agent. Now, let's be honest. 100% of real estate agents are liars. They are criminals and liars. And I am not exaggerating when I say that. You show me an ad for a rental property that hasn't been photoshopped, and I will show you a penis that is not a microchode. It can't be done. You know, I don't know what the implication of that joke is, that I have a microchode. But what I'm saying here is, like, they lie. They constantly lie. So, I mean, I'm not saying, like, why wouldn't you lie when you apply for a property? Why would you tell the truth? Why should you be the moral one who plays by the rules and doesn't, you know, Photoshop your pay slips to make it look like you earn twice as much? You know, why are you not the one who's, you know, putting your friend as a reference for, like, Big Boy Industries and saying that you work for this company making $200,000 a year? You know, why aren't you saying, oh, I don't have a dog, and then wait until you move in and then go, oh, by the way, I got a dog now, or just not tell them you have a dog and just say, oh, I've got weird fucking pubes, and that's why there's like what looks like dog hair. But some people call me the dog boy because I got a dog hair pube situation. And, you know, what are they going to say to that? What I'm saying is, why aren't you lying? That's a question. That's not an encouragement to do anything. I'm just saying, why aren't you lying? Well, I'm just asking the question. Why aren't you lying to the people who lie for a living? That's what they do. That's what their job is, right? There is no real estate agent who is not lying. And here, I just want to get into this too. Like, this is a total side note to what I'm saying. A real estate agent lies and performs a criminal act. Call the cops. See what they're going to do. They're going to do fucking nothing, right? But if they want to evict you, they can bring the cops. Yeah? If your boss steals your wages and steals your superannuation, call the cops. See what happens. Fucking nothing. But you steal from them and they will call the cops. You steal $5 from the till, they will call the cops. The cops will arrest you. That is because the law is there to benefit big business, to benefit CEOs, to benefit millionaires. The law is there not to benefit you, to fucking harm you, right? They can, you know, a company can steal millions of dollars of workers' wages and then just pay a fine that's less than the amount of wages they stole, and that's just the cost of doing business because they functionally are above the law. Real estate agents are above the law. You are not above the law. Always remember that. But, you know, the question remains, they lie. Why don't you lie? I'm bending down to pick up my cards that I dropped. I wrote notes on the cards because I wanted to write. I've got Nazi death squads. What have I got here? Leeches of society. Okay, so when you rent a place, you know, you don't pay your rent. What happens? You get a fucking notice. You get a notice saying pay your rent or you'll be evicted. You pay $2 less. You try paying $2 less. You will still get a notice. You have not paid your rent. You will have, and I have had debt collectors call me for amounts lower than $5 for fucking, if you pay your water bill, but you pay it a little bit less, you know, but you see what happens when, you know, they knock your back fence down for a fucking week. You know, you see like what happened, you know, when you know, your lights don't work or your oven doesn't work for a short amount of time. Even if it's a short amount of time, do you get like a $2 discount on your rent that month? No, fuck no. No. You pay your rent in full, right? But what people don't realize is there are things you can do, right? There are ombudsmen, there are people you can go to. And that's the thing. For poor people, when someone, I don't want to say include myself when I say poor people, because I was about to say me. I mean, you know, when workers or, you know, middle class or working class or anyone who isn't a fucking CEO, right? When people like that have a problem, they have to go to an ombudsman. You know, they can't go to the police. You can't go to the police. The police aren't there for you. They're not going to help you in any way, shape or form. They are there for your landlord, right? They're there to help your landlord make money. They're not there to help you. So you can't go to the police, but you can go to ombudsman, you can go to things like that, right? And with landlords and dodgy real estate agents, you can file a breach notice. You can, if you can file a breach notice about anything. Now, the downside is because the landlords are the bosses of society, they can then just kick you out for no reason. But still, if you want to fuck with them, you can. You can file a breach notice. You can go on to, in Victoria, the VCAT website. There's similar ones in every state and territory. But essentially, you know, if you say, hey, the tap doesn't work, you know, and they say, well, whatever, who cares? Wait a week, say the tap doesn't work, and then you can file a breach notice and you can find a template and that'll basically say you have, you know, X amount of days to remedy this breach. Otherwise you will be in breach of law, and you'll have to compensate and all the rest of it, right? You have options. And, you know, this is not legal advice. This is not legal advice. I'm a comedian and I currently have a low grade fever. All right. But fucking get legal advice. There's free legal advice you can get. There's all kinds of things. It's shocking how many like dodgy things are in leases, lease agreements, right? You can't just have anything. You can't just put in a lease agreement, oh, we get to like fucking drink your blood, lick your asshole, you know, because you didn't pay your rent. I don't know why they're drinking, why they want to lick your asshole. That's a good result for you. I would love it if my real estate agent would lick my asshole. But like, I've
Wake me up inside.
what was I talking about? Yeah. So, you know, you can file a breach notice, you can do all kinds of things, but also, yeah, in contracts, in leases, they can't just put things that are illegal. In fact, like there's places where they can't necessarily demand that you have the carpets professionally cleaned. If you get there and the carpets weren't professionally cleaned, then you usually, and again, look up your fucking state, get legal advice. This is not legal advice, but you can get like, you usually will only have to clean a place to the extent that it was clean when you moved in, right? That's what you know, like, you know, there's things that they can't make you do. There's things that are normal wear and tear. You got wooden floors. Well, guess what? After fucking 4 years, there's going to be scuffs on them. There's going to be like carpet is going to be, you know, wear and tear. They put in cheap fucking carpet. Then it like after a couple of years, it's going to be coming up. It's going to like stuff's going to happen. You're walking all over it every single fucking day of your life. You can fight a lot of stuff with real estate agents. And if you can't, or if you don't want to, you can top deck them. That's when you open up the cistern and you shit into the cistern of a toilet. And then like, because the great thing is like no one's going to notice at first. and, you know, hopefully you get your bond back by the time the smell starts to really permeate the place. You know, pile chicken bones into the air vents, you know, just chicken bone them, man. Like, just fuck them up. Don't fuck them up. Don't fuck them up. That's not legal advice. I'm a comedian and I'm joking around with you. I've stolen a lot of vanilla essence from Woolworths.
I reckon that's fucking cool, man.
I hate Woolies and Coles more than I hate IGA. But they stole from workers. They are thieves. They are thieves. They've stolen from workers. They've stolen from farmers. They've stolen from Australian families. They land bank. They buy land in communities and then fucking just bank it. Wait until it's profitable to build or sell again. They're fucking property developers. They're real estate moguls. They are cunts. Woolworths and Coles are cunts. They rip off everyone. They rip off the workers. They rip off the fucking Australian public. And the one person who doesn't do anything, the one person that like Woolworths or Coles could do without is the CEO. That's the one person who is completely useless, right? This is the thing that I want to get back to, right? Like my fucking dog shit now ex-manager who, you know, bankrupted his business and cut and run. He's the one person who is useless in any given situation. The person who is useless is often the CEO, is often like the people at the top. They're the ones who do fucking nothing. They don't do fucking anything. They just sit around and rake in millions of dollars a year, and the place could run without them. And that's the thing. In Woolworths, that fucking place, the workers are the ones who make it. The farmers are the ones who make the food. The workers are the ones who put the food on the shelves and sell you the food. What the fuck does the CEO do? The CEO does press conferences and fucking shareholders meetings. And the shareholders don't do shit. They just sit back and they reap the fucking profits. They're scum. They're scum, a lot of them. And so, yeah, like I'm not encouraging. I'm asking, why aren't you stealing vanilla essence from Woolies? Why aren't you weighing, you know, your red onions as brown onions? I don't know if actually offhand if there's a difference in that. Or why aren't you just not going there? And I mean, granted, there's a lot of people who, you know, there's no option that you have. And that's another fucking thing is the way big business just monopolizes everything. But, you know, if you've got an option not to go to Woolworths, don't go to fucking Woolworths. And, you know, when I get like, and speaking of getting things for free, right? When I get on the tram,
Israel is
I'll get on the tram, I'll get on the bus, and, you know, you're supposed to swipe your Mikey. Do I do it? I don't know. Do I swipe my Mikey? I don't know. I mean, but here's the thing, right? Let's say hypothetically, I got on the tram, I got on the bus, and I never ever paid. I never ever paid for it, right? You might think, oh, what a cunt. What a cunt. What a cunt you are. What a cunt. But here's the thing. No matter what your political, economic, social beliefs are, if someone gets on the bus or the tram and doesn't swipe and doesn't pay, you should be happy. You like, no matter what your ethics are, no matter what your philosophical, social beliefs are, they have done an ethically good thing. And I'll tell you why, right? Someone gets on the tram, they don't pay. Now, if you are, say, a socialist, great. You know, what they're doing is they're fighting a privatized system that should be a public system. You know, we've already paid for the tram and for the bus with our taxes. We all pay for that. And then we have to pay again to get on. And in fact, you have to pay a third time because when they brought in those cards, the Opal cards and the Mikey cards, You have to pay money to buy the card to then pay them money. You have to pay to pay. It's the greatest scam in history, because then you buy a card, the card costs like X amount of dollars, then you put money on it, then you lose the card or the card stops working. And yeah, you could technically get a refund or whatever, but you can't and you don't, and they know you're not going to. They know they've now just made extra money off you, right? But you have to pay to pay for something you've already paid for, something tax dollars have already paid for, right? So you have to pay to get on this public transport that should, if you're a socialist, that should be free. That should be free because it's in the best interest of society. It's in the best interest of the people. It's in the best interest of businesses, of for you to be able to travel freely around your city is in the best interest of everyone, right? It's in the best interest of everyone. It means you can go to school, you can go to work, you can go to shops, you can buy things. It keeps the economy flowing, all the rest of it, right? If you can do that for free, it lowers pollution. It is better for congestion. It makes the world go round, right? And if you are a socialist, you would believe that that system should not be privatized and it should not be for profit, right? Now, that's if that's your moral point of view. If your moral point of view is you are a capitalist, you are a staunch capitalist, and I just want to also step in here and say, if you say, for example, that you are a capitalist and you don't own a warehouse or a factory or multiple homes that people live in, if you say you are a capitalist and you work at, JB Hi-Fi or whatever, you are not a capitalist. You are not a capitalist. You are a cuck. You are a cuck for capitalism. If you say you are a capitalist and you don't own a warehouse, you're not. That's not what a capitalist is. A capitalist is literally someone who owns the means of production. If you don't own the means of production, you are a cuck. You're not a cuck if you're a worker. You're a cuck if you love Elon Musk and you're a worker. If you think billionaires are cool and you believe that capitalism is cool and you are not a factory owner, then you are a cuck. But let's say you are a factory owner or whatever. Let's say you are a capitalist. Let's say you believe in the capitalist system, right? Then morally, ethically, you should be doing what big businesses do. Ride the tram for free and just pay the fine cost of doing business. That's not being immoral. That's being creative with your accounting. That's what businesses do. They underpay their workers and they pay the fine, because the fine's less than the thing. Because this is the thing, right? Do the maths, right? How often do you see ticket inspectors? I bet, and I've done the math, it's lower than the amount of times you'll ride for free. Work it all out. Long term, you save money by simply riding the tram for free, and when you get a fine, you just pay the fine. That's just smart business. That's just how to do smart business. You are a young entrepreneurial venture capitalist. So either way, whatever your belief system, whatever your morals are, riding the tram for free, it's a good thing. It's what you should do. I mean, obviously don't do it because that's illegal, and I wouldn't want to encourage anything illegal or anything like that. I certainly, I don't encourage like illegal activities. But here's the thing. What I don't know. Minimum wage equals minimum effort. The world we live in. Why are you the one that has to be moral and virtuous? Why are you the one that has to pay your rent on time, but your landlord's not the one that has to fix the leaky tap? Why are you the one that has to show up 5 minutes, 10 minutes before your shift starts, ready to be, on time? Yet if you show up, if you show up 1 minute late, your boss is getting mad at you, right? Why are you not a team player if you don't put in extra effort, but your boss doesn't have to give you extra pay? How often do you work for free? That Think about this, right? You go to your office. Like every job I've ever had, I've worked for free. Every job I've ever had, I've worked for free. I go into an office. I used to work in a fucking inbound call center, and they'd say you got to be there 10 minutes before your shift starts. 10 minutes before your shift starts. So you can be checking emails and doing and getting your phone ready and blah, blah, blah. You got to be there 10 minutes before your shift starts. Well, if I got to be there 10 minutes before my shift starts, that means my shift starts 10 minutes before you said. So pay me an extra, $2 or whatever the fuck, right? And they say you can't just hang up in the middle of it. At 5 p.m., you got to, that 5 p.m. is when you hang up if your call is over, and then you log off, and then, you send whatever emails you need to send or do your final report for the day or whatever, right? But, if I was to, go into petty cash and go, oh yeah, I'll just take $5 out of here every day, like $5, they'd call the cops. They'd call the cops and say I was thieving from the workplace, but they stole my money. But it's fine. I got you. But you have to be a team player. You're a worker. You have to play by the rules. You have to be a team player. Well, minimum wage equals minimum effort, right? If your boss pays you from 9 to 5, you do not start until it's exactly 9 o'clock on the dot. And you fucking put your fucking tools down, your phone down, whatever the fuck, the second it hits 5 p.m. Fuck your boss. Fuck your boss. Your boss is a cunt. Your boss wouldn't piss on you if you were drowning. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know how that makes sense, but fuck your boss. Your boss is a cunt. Your landlord is a cunt. Your real estate agent is a cunt. Everyone who owns a fucking Woolworths, everyone who's a fucking shareholder, everyone who's a property developer, anyone who's a fucking mum or dad investor with like millions of dollars in a fucking property portfolio is a cunt. They are all cunts. They are useless cunts. They are leeches on the fucking delicious dick of society. They're sucking your blood. Stalin didn't kill enough. He was a cool fucking guy. He gets a bad rap. Ship him off to the gulag, you rotten fucking cunts. Israel's an apartheid state. Donald Trump should fucking put a bullet in his fucking brain. Fucking bullshit, cunt ass, shit ass, fucking cunt, rot, shit, dick, fuck, face, fucking. I just started smoking weed again, and it's really mellowing me out. I don't know if this episode made sense, but just remember, you're nothing. You're nothing. The rules are made to keep you down and keep your boss rich. Nothing you do within the confines of the law will help you. Nothing you do will change the fact that the rich will eat you. Good night.
I can make my voice real high. Hello? Hello? Hello?
The Greg Larson Show. The big unit is ready to go. The Greg Larson Show. Muck around on the Mazapan. A fresh custard in his hand. The greatest podcast